Hey, what's up, man? What's up? How are you? I'm gonna put the link right now if anybody wants to come up. Yes, how are you? I'm back. Let's see what can we do today. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Oh man, what's up, man? It's 8:48 here. I wonder what time is in your neck of the woods. Hey, what's up, Atwood? Oh, looking for something here. Oh man. Oh man, I wonder where. Hey, what's up, people? Oh man. Yeah, oh yeah. You really gotta be careful. I heard those sparks can really those sparks get in your eyes, it can blind you. Those sparks, when you're welding. I heard a story once about a teacher of us told us one time that he was doing some welding in his house and his dog uh got near him while he was welding. Well, the dog caught a spark, but the spark landed on one of the a dog's eyes. Hey, hello, Carla. How are you? Thanks for coming. Yeah, I mean the dog. It landed. The spark and dog uh got ended up being blind, and they had to take him. And when they took him to the vet told him that spark had landed on his eye. Well, okay. Well, I'm gonna tell you guys one of the stories I came upon ghost stories. Oh God, this is a story that I heard a long time ago. Let's see which one. Let me check here in my list of stories. Let's see. hmm Here's one. In the city of the state of Chihuahua in Mexico, it has a lot of important caves with crystals and fascination things that we see them in caves. Like a lot of minerals. So here's a story. Here's one story. hmm So here's one story that happened in the state of Chihuahua, which is the northern part of Mexico, which borders with Texas. They say in the city. hmm There's one a legend called of the La Pascualita, which is a mannequin bride that exists, La Pascualita, in the state of Chihuahua. It tells the story. Okay, hold on. My computer's acting kind of funny in a way. Well, it says this. The story of La Llorona is one of the most well-known and terrifying tales in Mexico. It is said that during the Mexican colonial era, a woman named Maria was abandoned by her husband, and a rip of madness and jealousy drowned her own children in the river. Upon realizing what she had done, Maria died in anguish. And according to legend, they say that, according to legend, people have heard her yell at night, saying, "Ay, mis hijos, oh, my children, ay, mis hijos," a yell that's, like that. It's a spooky tale that's been around for years and years. No, no, no. No, no. No, no, actually, it's a very different that, but really, no. And people all through the years have said that they have seen her and heard her yell and scream all over Mexico all through the years since the colonial era. Let me give you a little bit about history. Uh, we all know. the legend of the, I mean, not the legend, but when the first settlers arrived to what we know now is the U.S., Massachusetts, Jamestown, Plymouth Rock, and all of that. That would be in the 17th century. But a century before, in the 16th century, around 1519, the Spaniards a group of Spanish explorers led by Hernan Cortes landed in what is now the eastern part of Mexico, which is the state of Veracruz. And Veracruz is the oldest municipality in the Western Hemisphere, older than Boston and Canada, all of it. And that's where the colonial era started in Mexico, all the way to 1821 when Mexico uh, won of its independence from Spain, just like the same thing with the Americans with the British in 1776. And that's why they call the legend of during the colonial era in Mexico. Here's one legend. It says here, the buried treasure. There was once an evil priest who did not fear God or man. His duties for the church included counting and offerings and ringing the bells to summon people to mass. But his heart was filled with greed, and he began to take advantage of the good people of his parish. The priest stole money out of the offerings to keep for himself, and when he had filled a chest full of gold, he killed a man and buried him with a chest, with a chest, with a chest, so the murdered man's ghost would guard it. They say that. Oh, here's the one, Carla. Is a planchada. The one. Here's a story. If you're spending time in hospital in Mexico City, look out for a ghostly nurse. The words of La Planchada, which means the iron woman, meaning of the iron lady. And the phrase refers to a nurse that had been seen in hospitals around central Mexico. The story relates to a nurse called Eulalia, who was always immaculately presented when on duty with her crisply iron uniform. Apparently, Eulalia fell in love with a doctor at the hospital, and they became engaged. All was proceeding well until the doctor let go to a regular medical seminar held in another city. That doctor failed to return from the seminar, and Eulalia discovered that he had met and married another woman. Poor Eulalia went into decline and started to neglect both herself and her work. Following Eulalia's death, patients from central Mexican hospitals reported seeing a ghostly apparition on the wards. The spectral, the spectral nurse, it is said to heal the patients she appears before. Other versions of the story claim that the original nurse was cruel and consequently doomed to care for patients for eternity. And and here's the one about the island of the lost dolls. A tale more recent. Its origins is centered around Mexico City, Isla de las Muñecas. It says Island of Dolls. A recluse by the name of Julian Barrera, who lived on the banks of the canal, noted one day the dead body of a girl floating in the water, accompanied by her doll. Barrera claimed that he could hear the screams of the little girl, and as consequence, he hung the doll amid the leaves and the branches surrounding woodland to appease the spirit of the drowned girl. Others joined Barrera in hanging dolls, and today the trees on this small island is covered with thousands of them, the sheer number of whom present a spooky appearance. And if you're brave enough to take walk here at night, you might well hear the whispers of these ghostly dolls accompanied and your stroll. And another legend says if you remove one of the dolls from there, you might have a string of bad luck. You might have a string of bad luck. Okay, now let's go now to here's one of our boys says here. I was visiting family in a country for the first time 3 years after my grandma passed away. We made it to my grandma's house, and there were six family members waiting for us at the house. I saw a lady that looked like my grandma peeking around the kitchen door, smiling and wearing like she was happy to see me. There is not a personal experience, but one I heard many times like a child and still occasionally during family reunions. It happened to a maternal grandma, Mueli, many years ago. The proper time after getting married, my grandma gave birth to a little girl whom happened to be only seen. Okay, now let's look at this other story. I was about five. Says here a person here a man here's this person describes this story. I was 5 years old living in Mexico. My mom used to work at a bridal shop. The shop was next to a candy store that my mom's friend owned. One day I wanted to use the bathroom, and my mom took me to the candy store because our store didn't have a bathroom. Her friend's wife let us use. I have many stories to tell I'll start with the first one. This is a story of the time I saw the boy in the tree. I was about 8 years old, and my family took a trip from Texas to Mexico to visit my grandpa. He lived with a housekeeper in the slums of Mexico. The days visiting. Yeah. Oh yeah, I bet. Yeah, there's some spooky cemeteries. There's one. Here's one I can show you one. Let's see. Let me go to Google Maps, and I know one in particular. Yeah, well, here's one I'm going to show you guys one of them that I. This one right here. This cemetery is called Cemetery Number One in Tijuana, Mexico, and many people say this cemetery is haunted. Some people have claimed they've seen a woman who would appear there and ask people for rides, anything, out of this cemetery. And she would lead them to this gate here, to the gate that says Panteon Numero Uno, right to this gate, lead them there. They say it's a ghost of a woman that died back in 1929, who was in love with a gentleman who, who her father didn't like, and they say she died for love, and promised that one day she would come back to be with her lover. And out of this cemetery, that legend comes out of this cemetery right here. Here's one thing that in my opinion, well, not in my opinion, but it's been freaking me out since I was a kid. This neighborhood, this neighborhood right here, it's in downtown Tijuana, Mexico. I used to live here when I was a little kid. Before I came here, when I was 12 years old, I used to live in these. I used to not live in this neighborhood, but I remember this neighborhood very well because we used to come from up here. Let me tell you where specific from where I used to live. Well, from where we used to come to this neighborhood in particular. Okay, okay, we used to live. See, you see these houses, big houses. Well, we didn't live in these big houses, but we live in that same neighborhood, but several blocks away. And sometimes we would walk to the movies and or go shopping or do something or to the park. We would walk, go there. We were just kids at the time, the whole family. We would walk and go to this movie house right here. This this is the old Saragossa Theater, but back in the day it was a movie theater with neon lights. I remember at nights the neon lights, how they shine. And always used to think of the movies that were playing there. And I would think that, oh my God, I'm glad I'm not there. I would, like, it would, like I don't know what, I just the movies that would just stick into my mind, thinking something. Just don't know why. And this movie theater had I don't know, but now it's a community theater, but it had this community theater. It had or still has. I'm not sure. Let's say it had. I don't know an underground bathroom. Back in the day, a lot of buildings, even here in the United States, had underground bathrooms. I remember one in San Diego, the old Greyhound station, had an underground bathroom where you could just walk down the stairs and you would see not only that the bathroom as you come in, but you see a couple where you can get also a shoe shine. Yeah. Well, let me tell you. Well, I don't know why, but this place, this streets you see here, have all to this day have always freaked me out, scared me. Well, maybe because of what happened here many years ago. And this house, which I'm about to show you, this creepy house that's called the house of the crooked window. You see the window? It's kind of weird. You see the window this, but I will tell you a little bit more why the window's like that. Back like in the late 40s, this building was was a medical doctor's office, a general practitioner, and as a matter of fact, he lived there. He lived not just he worked there, but he also lived. Him and his mother, just him and his mother. His mother would greet the patients by offering them coffee or water, whatever, and and would tell them to wait here until the doctor calls you. So one day, the people around this house were were um were worried that the both doctor and his mom were didn't come out. They noticed that the place was closed. What the hell? What? They suspected, okay, they probably went out of town. But as weeks went by, there was no signal, nothing. The place just remained closed. So one day the neighbors got suspicious and they called the police to have a welder's check. The police came and they knocked on the door, see if somebody's in there. The police came, they knock on the door, and suddenly door opens and the lady was there, the mother of the doctor. And he says, the policeman says, ma'am, these people were worried about you and we're here to make sure you are all right. Yes, but I don't understand. Why are you coming here to check on me? Well, like I said before, the people here were worried about you and your son. They haven't seen you guys come out. They probably, thinking that something had happened to you guys. Oh, well, no, nothing. We've been here working. We haven't gone out of town or nothing like that. We've been here, Sam. We haven't been out of town in years. Okay. But the police and the people who were there were not buying her the story. They were not buying her the story. They suspected something. Um, ma'am, are you just here alone? Or is your son here? Oh yes. Yes, he's upstairs. You want me to go call him? No, ma'am. We'll go upstairs and okay. You stay here, okay? So the police and a couple of the people, concerned people, went up there and they knocked on the door and they said, it's open. The doctor said, hey, we talked to your mom and she told us you were up here. My mom? It can't be. She's been dead for the last 2 weeks. Oh, no. It must be some mistake. We talked to your mom and she told us that you were up here. No, it must be some mistake. My mom has been there for 2 weeks, like I said before, okay? I mean, what is this? A practical joke or something or what? Okay? Okay. Please, just leave me alone, okay? I'll leave me alone. So the people said, God, this is strange. This is so strange. So they went up downstairs back to see if the woman was really, really not dead. Well, the woman was really dead. What have they saw was the ghost of the woman talking to them. But not only that, they noticed that the woman was laying dead on the in her room there, laying on the room for days, dead. And then they went up to the son, check him out, and guess what? The man was dead, but he wasn't just dead. He was dead for the past couple of weeks. It turns out that the man had murdered his own mom and later he committed suicide by hanging himself. Okay. So what they did, they talked to the two dead people, the mom and the son. So that's why no, so that's why the place was so that's why the place was locked, you know. So as years went by, several relatives came in, and their relatives were into the occult, you know, who- you know, and so they decided what they claimed was to have a crooked window like that, which means that if they put the window like that, it'll keep evil spirits away. So legend has it, if that window is destroyed, the evil spirits will come and they will haunt you for the rest of your life. Yeah, and it will haunt you for the rest of your life. And it will haunt you for the rest of your life. Spirits. And you know what's the scary thing about that? That every time when I see that, I say, "What the fuck? That is one scary story." Well, let me tell you why. To me, this story is always very special because back in the day, we used to go to this movie theater, and sometimes we would watch a movie. We would go to the movies and we would get off on a late showing. Like say we would go to a 5 o'clock showing, and we'll get out like around 8:30 at night. You know, in those days, you had a triple feature or a double feature. It's not like today that you go in and just one movie. That's it. You pay for the movie. Well, unless you go around, changing theaters and watching movies. Like people used to do. I mean, we used to do that as kids, but we never got caught. Well, that's what I did. I think I did that once. I think. Okay. well, well, here's another legend, but it's not a really a legend. I would say this gentleman told me that he went to this same movie theater back in the early 1950s. This old man told me. He said he was about 11 or 12, young kid. And he went to go see the movie The Thing, The Thing from Another World, the original one, not the 1982 Kurt Russell movie. And they think they made another one let's see, what was that? I think they make another one in 2021 or something. Well, I'm not sure, but I seen both of them, like the 51 and the 82 versions. Good movies, yeah. So he said he went to go see them, and and he had to go home because he went to a late showing. And he said he would walk through this like this, walk, and he had to walk through here and past the house because in those days the story of what happened in that house was not. It didn't happen. It happened in those days, not too long ago. Of the time I'm telling you about the story of this boy that went to the movies. He had to walk home, and guess what? And then he would go this, and then he would turn here on this street, Cinco de Mayo Street, as it's called. This we see here, this is a Social Security hospital. It's a government-run hospital where people, low-income people, go have medical treatment. People you see here outside are people waiting for their appointment sometimes. But and he said he walked this home. Check this out. He would walk this home, and he would have to climb these stairs at night, and then maybe walk several blocks as he made his way through all the way up. Maybe he would have to walk, or maybe he probably lived around here, or maybe he had to walk several blocks like we used to have to. And he said when he got to the stairs, he said he ran like hell, because thinking that the monster from the movie, The Thing, was gonna get him. Was gonna get him, and he ran like that. Kind of funny story, yeah. Yeah, but Yeah, the people that live here, many of these people that live here have lived here for many years. Many of these houses are people that have many of these houses, for generations. Yeah, a lot of stories. These in these places. Over here, you have that Lieutenant Guerrero Park over here. This is the Lieutenant Guerrero Park. Here's a nice park here. When I was a kid, little boy, I was about 5 or 4. My mom used to take us here to this park, and we used to play in the swings and everything in the playground here. This is a very old park. This is what they call a plaza because when you have a lot of towns, usually here they don't see it as a plaza because it's because of a, because of the size of the town. This is a town of 2 million people, but in smaller towns where you have a park here and a church here, which is this is St. Francis of Assisi Catholic Church. They usually call it a plaza. But back in those days, back in the day, people would come to the plaza like Saturday nights, Monday nights, Friday nights. Especially kids, would come there. They would meet their friends. Teenagers would meet, with uh, young couples would stroll here. Families would go here. It was very fun time back then. But I don't think they do that anymore. I don't think they do it as they used to. But yeah, yeah, this church right here, St. Francis of Assisi. It's pink. Yeah, the church. Mm, This is the Third Street. Uh, this is what you have here. These colors here says La Reina, Michoacan. That's a popsicle shop. They're all over Mexico. That's where you can buy popsicles of different flavor from strawberry, pineapple. Yeah, yeah, you can go here, from different flavors, ice creams, all that kind of stuff. Candy, a lot of good stuff we like. Some we can eat, some we can't eat no more because of our illnesses. Here, these are candy shops where you can buy candy wholesale and then. Mhm, mm, mm. Let me show you a story about this. I don't know if you guys ever heard. I know a lot of you here know who is Santana, Carlos Santana of the band Santana. Well, he actually grew up in this park. In this park, he heard of his first rock and roll live band back when he was just a teenager. He heard it here. And the guy who's playing actually lives in this neighborhood. Mr. Javier Batis lives here. Right here he lives. And they say the city named this hill that I'm about to show you after him. This hill right here, the ramp Javier Batis, they call it. Yeah, they call it. Oh, that's like oh, oh, a bakery. Oh, this is the mom and pop bakery. There used to be a lot of these back in the day, but now these are very few bakeries. But most the problem is the big chain supermarkets. People buy their pastry there now. But back in the day, we used to buy it here in places like the. This right here is it's a doctor's office. You notice this is Chevron gas station. Huh, very funny, huh? See, what's a Chevron station doing in Mexico? Yeah, they have them there. So now we go to. So this is Port Street. Now we're gonna take a memory. This is memory lane for me. Now we're gonna go back to the movie theater, but not the movie theater. The building right next to the movie theater. This building. This is a social hall. They have a lot of parties there, like been a lot of like weddings and places, dances and everything. They have pretty good events. They have there, coffee there. Got a friend who actually has a what you call that? He's a doctor. He's a foot doctor actually. He has a yeah. This is an old cyber cafe, but this building is no longer there because this building is there now, which is now a big supermarket chain. Hmm. That's a Chinese restaurant. Yeah, back in the day there was some. This used to be an old shoe store. The people that owned it, I knew them well. The lady that owned it back in 2020 died of COVID. Mm. Over here, this building right here is still. This is still. I don't know if it's still a bank. No, no, it's not. It's some other building, but there used to be a bank here years ago. You know why? Because it's the first bank I ever had my. Well, the first bank I ever had a bank account was right here. Was right here. Mm. Okay, here I'm going to show you more here. This used to be back in the day. This street here, not this street, but here. I'm about to show you. This is Revolution Avenue. But back in the day, like in the 80s, this used to be filled with American, young people, American college kids, would flush this area. But a lot of these, they would go bar hopping here. All these were bars. A lot of these places were bars, nightclubs. Back in the 80s, bars are no longer there. Over here, if I'm not mistaken, let's. Oh my God, where is that? Oh my God. Uh huh. Yeah, this is a tourist part here. They used to have a bar here. At one time, it was the biggest bar there was a time in the world. Now this is a casino here. Oh no, let me. Oh, okay, still here. This taco stand right here, you see, these guys been here since 1952. Hmm. And down here is a restaurant. It's called La Special Restaurant. Used to be some. It used to be a great. It used to be a great place to eat. But here, this building you see here, back in the day, for many years, it used to be a nightclub. It was very popular among the young people here. This building here, very popular. Dates back to the 1960s. To since the days. Even guys like Jim Morrison of the Doors used to maybe seen here. I mean, you could in those days, you could walk around here like in the 60s, and you can maybe run into somebody like back then. Who was popular? Like maybe Jimi Hendrix or Janis Joplin or an actor, like Leonard Nimoy from Star Trek. Somebody told me that she waited on him. A lady who used to work as a waitress in one of the restaurants here told me that she waited on him. She like Leonard Nimoy or maybe somebody like Michael Landon of Bonanza in those days. You could see walk around here. Celebrities, and both Mexican and American celebrities, you could see walk around here. Some, or maybe like somebody like William Shatner or Adam West of Batman, etc., etc. But this is the only nightclub El Torito that has been there. That's been left. They used to be here. I think. Yeah, but it was a nice place. Yeah. Well, let me show you the story. Okay, right here, you see these with the graffiti you see here. Okay, here where you see the graffiti, this used to be a nightclub called Aloha. Like I told you before, guys like Jim Morrison could be seen there, can be seen there sometimes, or I don't know who, but a lot of performers, would be seen. It was very popular back then, back in the '60s. They say like back in as of 1973, around Easter time, legend has it there was a young girl around 17 or 16. One day, the girl was grounded by her mom and told her not to go out that night. And she said, "Fuck no, I'm going out with my friends and we're going to go bar hopping. I don't care if I have to dance with the devil, but I'm going to go." And she disobeyed her mom and went to this place. Well, the story goes that she went there with her friends. They danced, they flirted with other boys and everything. They drank. And suddenly she saw somebody there, a strange man, very elegant, wearing with a fancy suit. Shoes shine like nothing she has ever seen. Expensive jewelry, everything. The man was somebody like a movie star, like back then you might say like a Alain Delon or somebody like back then, or Robert Redford, somebody back then, that type. So the girl the girl saw this man and she said, "Fuck, well, I'll go introduce myself to him." She asked him, "Hey, hi, how are you? My name is so and so. Can I sit?" "Yeah, sure, you can sit here." The man says, "You want a drink?" "Well, I don't know." "Yeah, yeah." So the man orders 2 drinks. And they start talking, laughing, flirting, everything about this. And the man kept talking to strange tales of he has been all over the world. He's has seen things and everything. Very interesting stories the man was telling me. Wow. She was fascinated with his story. And as the time went by, the music was playing. The people were screaming and yelling because they were happy, they were drunk. Bam, bam, bam. The music, the music was playing. Bam, bam, bam. They, and finally, the man says, "Hey, you want to dance?" "Yeah, sure. Why not? Let's go." Pow, pow. And she was happy like that. And they were dancing. And then she noticed something very strange about him. His feet. His feet were not human. His feet were more of an animal, like a goat or something. And she saw him through the guy's eyes. She noticed the guy's eyes were shining, and the guy was smiling in a very creepy way. And then suddenly, an explosion, like there was like electricity had just burst, something, pop, that electricity. Everybody started screaming and going, pop. And then as smoke cleared out, the girl was burned beyond recognition. The waiters noticed that, what the hell? Where's the guy? Where's the guy? One of the waiters said, "Let's go to the bathroom." Yeah, sure. Let's go check him out. They went to the bathroom everywhere. Because they had noticed that the guy had run into the bathroom. But when he went to the bathroom, and the bathroom had no windows up, so, no such, the guy had just disappeared. Like nothing. Like he was never there. Yeah. And he was never there. Oh, cool. Oh, yeah. You can buy a lot of leather over there. A lot of leather down there, especially shoes, everything. As a matter of fact, I used to know some guys that were they used to make leather jackets, belts, and all kinds of stuff, purses. Well, I guess she was a hot date. Yeah, I think that's why her mom didn't want her to go out because she was afraid that somebody was gonna kidnap her or something. But she said, "I don't care if I have to dance with the devil that night. I'm going out." Yeah, this story has been uh has been going around for more than 50 years now. I remember a while back I talked to this lawyer guy I know down there told me a story that is that you can find in the old courthouse archives. There is a file on the fire here that happened. There's a yeah, yeah. You notice they have a Domino's pizza down there. But if you want good pizza, this is the place to go. This is the place, Giuseppe's. They've been here for years and years. Yeah. Mm. See, they have a rundown hotel. Oh God. Well, I'm gonna take the stream, but thanks for coming. Halfway. I'll see you soon, man, and take care, man. Good night.